The one that I had in mind that I wanted was the 96, because he had this, the 96 away shirt. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free football shirt collection challenge. I always forget the name of this one because it's so similar to the video game one. If you are new to the series, go back and check out the other episodes because there are quite a few and you won't know how we've got to this point. We started off with nothing. We now have quite a few shirts in the collection. Last week's episode was an absolute nightmare. 3 shirts, all costing a fair bit, and all 3 were fake. And even though I tried to kid myself with the most expensive one, obviously that was fake as well. People were saying, no, it definitely is fake because, and I know it was just me trying to convince myself that, hey, you have actually bought a real shirt. No, they were all fake. So they are in the I'm going to use you for running when I can breathe pile. But for now, we're not going to talk about them ever again. We deducted the money for them. I don't just say, oh, well, they're fake and we're not going to talk about them. You know, we make mistakes, so we might as well talk about it. In this episode, we head off to a boot sale. We pick up a shirt from a guy that may be familiar to some if you've watched previous episodes. And I do have some vintage pickups as well as a pretty impressive pickup. I'm really happy with this one. This is not fake, and I've done my due diligence on this, and it's bought from someone that I trust rather than some random vintage person. So, currently, we are on £130 because of the mistakes of last week. We lost, I think, 30, 40 quid, something along those lines. It might have been more. I can't quite remember how much it was. And the collection value is 330. The collection is looking nice. I can't wait to actually get it all hung up in one place so that I can see it all. Because at the moment, it's all in a bag on the top of a shelf. And every time I go to like pick a shirt out of it, I've got to like rummage through. It's a bit of a nightmare. So I'm looking to get it all sorted. I say that every episode, but it will at some point. So, should we get into the very first pickup? The very first pickup is going to be a vintage pickup before we jump into any sort of boot sale stuff. And it is going to be one to sell on. So the only footwear in this video, I do have a lot more footwear to talk about in next episodes. But in this one, let's talk about these. Now these are AstroTurf. The boots were available actually. They had a pair of these, the AstroTurf ones, the Nemesis, I forget what they're called, 17.3, Nemesis 17.3. But they had boots as well. I just went with the Astros. They were both in good condition. The boots sell for about 25. These sell for about 25. I just went for these because I could tell that they were in perfect condition. They had more pictures and they just look really good. They're actually a size 11, so if I really wanted to, I could wear them, but I don't want to. Like I said, these I could tell were in really good condition, so given the fact that I can't remember how much they cost. I do have figures on screen for how much I've spent on these. They weren't expensive. The boots were a little bit more, these were a little bit less, and they're worth about the same. So I kind of thought, no brainer, I can tell there's nothing wrong with these. I could see the product code on them, so I could find out if they were genuine and not fake. I'm going to be so cautious with things from now on. Sometimes you've got to take a gamble. If something's a fiver and it looks okay, and you can't really find out if it's real or fake, and there's just no time to message the seller, you've got to take a gamble. You've got to just buy it and hope for the best. When it comes to things that are reasonably priced or that I can quickly type in a product code for, I'm going to do it. So that's pickup number 1. So that's a little bit of money going back in because I'm not keeping them. They are going to be flipped on. And then obviously how this works is we'll now use that money to buy something for the collection, pretty much. Now, I will actually add a shirt to the collection right now. Not the expensive one. I'm going to add a shirt that I never thought I'd own because I didn't really know it existed. This is brand new with tags. Again, it's from Vinted. It didn't cost hardly anything. I think it was about £5 plus postage. So those Astros will pay for it. This is an Antalyaspor. Home? Away? Home? I don't know. I still don't know because the tag doesn't tell me. I've got no idea whether that's home or away. I do apologise, Antalyaspor fans. I like it though, so I'm going to keep it. It's really tight. It's an extra large, but it's Kappa. We all know what that means. It's skin tight. But as you can see, there's the tag. Kimbled on, not like a little safety pin, so it's got a little bit more of a genuine feel to it. What I mean by that is, there's what was there? There's an Italian kit. There are several Italian kits actually, and the make. They don't like do this. They don't like stick the tag through the stitching. They use a little safety pin and they put it through the label. Anyone can get that and just safety pin it onto a label. You need an actual what's called a Kimball gun to put this through the stitching. It sounds a little bit more fancy than it is. They are very cheap, but is someone really going to go to the trouble of going out and buying one and then doing that to make it look like it's new? The badge is that really nice, not quite silicone. It's not as it's similar to this Santos shirt. It's not quite as nice, but it is still nice. I just really like it, and because it was new with tags and it was really, really cheap, they're not really worth much more than about £20 new anyway. It could possibly be an M&M direct job, which, if you don't know, is a very, very good website for getting sort of end-of-line football shirts. Generally from Brazil. This is where, I would say this is where this came from. This probably is where this came from, but I got this on Vinted for like a £5. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm a big fan of this. You can get, there's one with a golden Umbro sponsor on M&M Direct right now. I think it's about £13. If you don't know what that website is, like I said, they do other clothes and loads of other things, but they sell end-of-line football shirts. It's really, really good if you're a collector and you're not too bothered about what team the shirt is, you just like football tops. A lot of Brazil stuff, some international things on there as well. I would definitely recommend go checking them out. Anyway, let's jump into a little bit of boot sale footage. So clip number one, very, very quickly, saw these on the floor, went to pick them up, had a little look. You can't really see it because my camera work is terrible, and they just weren't very good. They were ripped on the side. They didn't do it for me, right? So I left them alone. We went to another stall, someone selling Exeter City shirts. He wanted 30 quid a shirt. This one, this green one, looked very nice. I say green, whatever colour it is. 5XL, this one's a 3XL. So even if they were, you know, within my price range, a little bit too big. Moving on, this one, bad camera work, but you will get to see what it is. We've been to this guy before. As you can see on the floor, maybe you just caught a glimpse. It is a football shirt. It is an international. It is another England shirt. You'll see behind it, though, there are another 2 England shirts. Now, I picked this one up first, and before I could really get my bearings, someone else had come along and picked up the other 2. What I should have done was grabbed all 3 and had a little look. But this one was the only one of the 3 with a name and number on the back. Now, I asked the guy how much it was. How much on that? 5. Very reasonable price at £5. Couldn't leave it there. Now, this is the guy who picked up the other 2. And he also got them for £5 each. Now, they weren't worth as much as my John Terry shirt because, of course, name and number on the back. This is the guy that I bought the England jacket from and those really weird orange AstroTurf shoes, boots, trainer things like a couple of weeks ago. And here, the shirt is in all its glory. Much like that England jacket, it was a little bit on the grubby side. It's so bright outside you can't tell if things are dirty or not. It's like scratches on discs, terrible. You look at it, you're like, oh, that's perfect. It's perfect condition. Come home, it is absolutely ruined. And it's the same with like white shirts. So I got some stain remover on this, and I've got the worst out. I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of a wash on it because the collar, I don't know if you can see, the collar is a little bit grubby in places. Could probably get away with it, to be honest. But there it is, John Terry in all its glory. I don't think anyone's ever said that before. Yeah, I have bought from this guy before, so I was expecting to pay £10 for this, and I would have paid it as well. So he's done himself out of money there. Must just be one of those guys who wakes up, whether he's in a good mood or a bad mood, he'll sort of pass the savings on to you. Because when I went last time, and I asked him about the England jacket, he said a tenner, which, you know, is reasonable, it's fine, it's worth about 25-30, so it's not a problem, I paid it. But I would assume that he'd know a little bit more, and this is worth more than that jacket, so I don't really know. Yeah, should have, my mistake on the other 2 shirts though. The guy got, the other guy got it, he was wearing a Mallorca shirt, so obviously he's out there looking for football tops. Probably wouldn't have found many in that boot sale though. There was another pickup I got in that boot sale, but I'll show you that in the next episode, otherwise things are going to run on a little bit too long. But it's in good condition, there's a little bit of wear to the number. I don't know if I'll be able to show you actually because it is very, very minimal, but apart from the marks that I will be able to get out, that is a very good pickup. £5. I don't know if you could hear it properly within the video or the audio, but for £5, I'm definitely not leaving that there. That was an absolute bargain. So if I had to put a value on that England shirt, which I kind of do, that's the whole point of the series, I'm going to say between 30 and 35 to be conservative. In fact, I'm screw 30. £35 I will get for that shirt, bare minimum. I know a lot of people will be like, no you won't. Not a chance. I've gone through it before, and I'll quickly mention it again. I got £35 for the away shirt with Lampard on the back. John Terry is more of a meme than Lampard, so I don't know if many people would want Terry on the back. But the closer we get to the World Cup, the more these shirts are going to spike. I don't think they're going to go up to the levels that we saw through the Euros because people are prepared this time. And I don't just mean people who want them. I mean people who are going to sell them. They're prepared. I've seen a fair few people on Twitter who are not resellers, they're not shirt collectors in any way, but they know the value of a football shirt through a World Cup or a major tournament, and they reckon they have 15, 20, 25 shirts to sell. I'm a reseller, I've got a few, and I know a lot of other resellers who have a lot of shirts ready to go as well. So the supply is going to far outweigh the demand this time, I believe. I've already seen them spike slightly, and I think it's down to the weather and the fact that we're in sort of festival season. So between now and the World Cup, there isn't really a point in which it's going to dip. If you were going to buy them to sell, the time is kind of already gone unless you can get them like here or there in a boot sale or whatever it may be, or a charity shop or something, even though charity shops are cottoning on these days as well. But yeah, I think I'm going to be able to achieve 45, 50 for that shirt. 50 is the very top end, but if I'm willing to hold onto it for another couple of months, someone will buy it in preparation for the World Cup. I almost guarantee it. I am only going to assign £35 to it right now. If it sells for more, I'll update you in the future. Those Astros are going to go for between 20 and 25. Just had an offer of 22 actually just before I started filming. I may take it, I may not, I'm not sure. Anyway, that takes us up to £21.50 spent. We've added the Antalya Sport shirt to the collection. We have the England shirt and the Astros to sell. That would probably take us up to about £50, £55 on the conservative side, making our money back. So we should go and spend some of that profit in this episode. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any footage of this because it was a friend's house. I wasn't expecting him to say, hey, do you want to come and look at my shirt collection? I say collection. He's a Liverpool fan, which is a big plus. And he only has Liverpool shirts and the odd Welsh international shirt, which he wasn't willing to give up, unfortunately, because I really wanted one. He has a lot of shirts from the early 2000s, which was banging. None of them have names and numbers on the back, which is slightly unfortunate because I was hoping he'd have a Jari Litmanen one. No one does. But I managed to convince him to let me buy this shirt for £25. This is around a £60, £70 shirt. If you buy it on eBay, in this condition, you may be able to push more because it's very, very good. But the reason I've got it that cheap, because he knew the value of it, right? He said, what's this worth? About 40, 50? So he's about 10, 15, 20 quid at max off. And I did say to him, it's probably worth a little bit more. I do him deals on video games all the time. So obviously I buy and sell things, right? And you've seen, hopefully anyway, you've seen the video game series that I run here. I acquire video games and video game systems a lot, and he plays a lot of video games. So I've done him a lot of deals in the past, knocking money off and doing things at cost and whatever. So and he never really has anything to sort of return the favour to me. This time he does. I wonder what year that's from. This is from just before 2000 actually. It's about the 98 shirt. And there it is. And it's in such good condition as well. There are a couple of little marks on it that I've tried to get off and failed. I haven't given it a proper wash yet. But that is absolutely banging. Now, there's only a chest size on it. There isn't actually a proper size because that's just the way that they worked. But I believe it's a large. I've tried it on and it fits well enough. It is a little bit on the baggy side, but that's just the way the shirts were. The sleeves are huge. So there we are. The Carlsberg is very, very clean. Like I said, there are a couple of marks on like the L and the B and things, but in general, that is a very, very nice, clean shirt that I am so happy to add to the collection. Unfortunately, there is nothing on the back of it in terms of name and number. Would have been nice to have, I don't know, Fowler or whatever it may be on the back. But we're not going to moan about that because we're adding arguably the most expensive shirt to the collection. Arguably. The one that I had in mind that I wanted was the 96, because he had this, the 96 away shirt, you know, the green and white checkered thing. I think we used it in the 96 FA Cup final where Cantona ruined my life. But I wasn't ready to part with that one. I am working on it though, because I had that, but again, I'm younger than him, right? So his shirts are in adult sizes. My shirts from that era are sort of early teenage years. So unfortunately, all the ones I had the orange shirt from 96, the keeper kit. I had the home keeper kit. I used to have a lot of keeper shirts actually from Liverpool back in the day. And basically all of them, the cream one, that one that you saw then, the one after that, the yellow one, the away one. I had all of those, but they're all like 12, 13 years of age. So I sold them all because I'm not really nostalgic in that way, because I can't wear them again. Even if I lose loads of weight, I'll still never be able to fit into them. They're child shirts. So I want to try and get them all back again, obviously. But yeah, he wasn't really willing to part with that one. So maybe in the future, but who knows. That, though, is a massive addition to the collection. The collection value is now, I think it's over £400. Is it? I mean, I would argue that it's probably about £415, £420 with the Antalyaspor shirt. I think I'm going to allocate 60. I'll be conservative. I'll put £60 on that Liverpool top. I think, like I said, because it's really clean, I can push more. But I will just put 60 on it. The Antalyaspor shirt is 20. It's just because it's brand new with tags. You can't buy it on eBay for less than 25. So I'll just say 20. So we're looking at £80, which I think takes us to 410 if memory serves me correctly. And not only that, we've made around, what, £8 or something in this episode as well. So we're adding money. We've picked up 2 shirts for the collection, one of which is an absolute banger that could arguably be our most expensive shirt, although I have valued it under. But we've also made money and we're adding that to the collection. I cannot be happier with that day's work. Next episode, pick up a sexy pair of football boots. I may or may not have bought a retail shirt, and I pick up a brand new with tag shirt from a boot sale. What a time to be alive. If you have enjoyed this episode of the free football shirt collection challenge, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.